Hey everybody, just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the Paramarines of World War II. Okay, so originally the Paramarines were created pre-war, and so that means before the war. But after Pearl Harbor was bombed and the U.S. entered the war, the Paramarines definitely began to pick up speed. And at its height, it had around 3,000 members and four whole battalions. There's many training bases for the Paramarines, such as New Caledonia, NAS Lakehurst, Camp Elliott, um, Camp Gillespie, and Had Not Point, all those good places. Okay, so the first combat that they ever saw was on the island of Gavutu, when the 1st Marine Parachute Battalion landed there. I don't know much about what happened on Gavutu. It's kind of rare to find information on it because it's such an obscure battle. However, I'm gonna get a book soon called Battalion of the Damned that goes more in depth about it. They also helped during the fight on the famous Battle of Bloody Ridge on Guadalcanal. Another battle that they were in was the Choiseul Diversion. The Choiseul Diversion was originally made to be able to distract the Japanese from the original landing at Bougainville, so they tried to fool the Japanese into thinking that they were actually landing on Choiseul instead. The battalion landed there, and there's a book called Mission Raise Hell that I would highly recommend. That talks a lot about it. The most famous action before they were disbanded was definitely on Bougainville, when they were basically, but where you can see most of the pictures of them in combat. One of their famous actions on Bougainville is when they landed on a small off a small beach near the main beach on Bougainville, and apparently, and the Japanese were expecting another unit to land there to bring in support or something. So a Japanese officer came out to go make conversation with them. However, that conversation was quickly terminated. Iwo Jima in 1945, although the Paramarines were disbanded in late 1944, they most of the Paramarines were sent to new divisions, one of which landed on Iwo Jima, and two of the flag raisers who raised the famous picture of the flag were actually former Paramarines, and there's lots of Paramarines who fought in the Battle of Iwo Jima. Unfortunately, many of the ones from former battles like Guadalcanal were killed there or wounded seriously. Gear. Paramarines often would use the M1 helmet with a flying helmet underneath, a special Marine flying helmet, which was similar to those of the fighter jet, or I mean, sorry, the fighter pilot helmets. They are either come in cloth or leather, and yeah, and the standard issue M1 helmet was just like all of the other ones. It's just kind of a plain old helmet. Okay, the jump boots were highly valued by Paramarines, as they were an identification that they were different from normal Marines and also different from airborne units, because the airborne units got different jump boots, except sometimes Paramarines would just use the regular airborne ones. But they also showed that they were different from regular Marines, because it's quite obvious that these are more extended than the regular ones, and the regular boondockers that the USMC regular infantry would use. Another famous piece of equipment that they would use are their jump smocks. So the first model smock was created earlier and was it was mainly just used for training, and I've never seen any of them be used in combat except for a picture on Tarawa. I'm not sure why it was there on Tarawa, because there were no Paramarines on Tarawa. My only guess is that they traded with them or something. And also on the right, you can see a third model smock, which is a later version, which is more camouflage. They'd only use camouflage smocks when in combat, only if they were cut down. Sometimes they might use them full, but I doubt it. But they're mainly just used in training as well. I have a second model smock in my closet. It's not an original one; it's a reproduction, but it looks a lot like the third model smock that you can see. Let's talk about some of their weapons that they would use. Okay, up top you can see the M55 Raising submachine gun. I accidentally just put machine gun instead of submachine gun, but it's a submachine gun. It was I really like the machine gun. It's a very it's very compact. It was very good for them to use because it has a folding stock. It's different from just the irregular M50, but sometimes was not very popular with the troops because it had a tendency to jam a lot. Yeah. And then down below you have the well-respected M1941 Johnson rifle. It's quite a rare rifle, but it's extremely respected. All right, up top we have the 1941 Johnson machine gun, which looks a lot like the Johnson uh, rifle. It's basically kind of like the same companies, and yeah, it's also not a very good machine gun. And down below you have my personal favorite, the M1A1 carbine. I don't know, I just like it a lot. It's nice and small. All right, on top you have the Thompson submachine gun. This was used. They had the three versions: the M1, the M1A1, and also the M1928A1. I'm pretty sure that all versions were used by the Paramarines. And down below you have the extremely rare Paramarine knife, which I don't I it was either like 70 or 700 of them were made. I forgot. It was something like that. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, and like, and leave a comment if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.